Hey everyone, welcome back to Matter of Facts. This is the third of 3 videos I'm putting out talking about kind of home defense, self-defense gear, militia gear, whatever you want to call it. This one's going to cover handguns or the secondary weapons system. Now, just to keep the internet range officers happy, that's a cleared firearm. There's no magazine. So when I drop the hammer, know that I'm dropping it on a completely empty firearm. Case closed. Now, couple quick moments, just talk about this. This is a TriStar C100s made by Canik in Turkey. A couple years back, these were actually being sold as Caniks. Now it just says TriStar made by Canik in Turkey. Same gun. It's based on CZ75 compact. We have an aluminum frame, steel slide, nice kind of lowish bore axis like a CZ75. Double action, single action like a CZ75. This one actually has a manual safety instead of the decocker that I know a lot of people will be more familiar with, but you can carry this one cocked and locked, or you can let that hammer down onto an empty chamber and carry it double action for the first shot. I found this to be a fairly flat shooting firearm. It's 9mm. I have had no issues running everything from my little training ammo, which I load myself, which is not full house ammunition. It's got some recoil, but it's not authoritative, all the way up to plus P, and I haven't had any problems out of this gun. This gun is pretty much eating anything that fits in the chamber and spit it out without complaint. Academy, last I checked, was carrying these for about $350 out the door. That price might have snuck up a little bit since then, but they're very durable firearms, been very reliable for me, and you can see I've got a little bit of finish wear here and there on the frame, but that's because this gun gets carried. This is actually the gun that I carry as a concealable carry firearm. It's in this episode because this is also kind of my go-to secondary weapon system. If I'm in a situation where I have to defend my family and we're at the point of I'm about to arm up and I'm bringing everything to the fight I can, this will be on my hip. The AK is going to be the primary weapon system. The reason I keep calling this a secondary weapon system is that military doctrine kind of dictates that the pistol fights our way back to the rifle. We're not looking to turn this into the problem solver that the rifle is. This is here to get us back to the problem solver. So if we're in that situation we talked about 2 videos ago where we drop the body armor to get some weight off, whatever, this stays on our side. If we get into a situation we need to get back to the body armor, back to the rifle, this fights back to the rifle. If we're in a situation where we can't have the rifle, we're concealing, we're out among the public, this is what we have. This fights our way out of trouble to get back to the rifle, or at least to get away from the situation. This is not the problem solver. This gets us to the problem solver. As far as like auxiliary gear, I kind of showed y'all what I run for an outside the waistband setup with the belt and mag carriers and outside the waistband holster, and all that's kind of more prioritized for speed over concealability, obviously, because it's outside the waistband. For concealable rig, I have an Alien Gear belt. I also have an Alien Gear inside the waistband, a Cloak 3.0. I've had no problems with it. It's been a very good holster to me. I also have a leather holster that I got off Amazon from a company called Outbags. I'll link that in the show description. And we'll talk about the concealed carry gear a little more later. But, I have my concealable rig, and then I have the rig for kind of the militia type stuff. But once we get past all that, I really want to just talk for a few minutes about philosophy of use, because when it comes to handguns, there's been a lot of popular thought for a lot of years that the handgun was the end-all be-all of home defense. This was your first gun purchase. You need one of these before anything. And I want to push back against that for a little bit, because this shoots these little bitty old things. That's a 9mm. Now, let's stop all the forum bickering. That ain't much better than a 45 or 40 or 357 SIG or any of your common handgun rounds. When you get into handguns, in my opinion, you're not talking about real power until we're talking about like 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, your bigger revolver cartridges, or we're like 50 Action Express or something like that. But when we're talking about your common defensive calibers, 9mm, 40, 45, they do the job, but they are not going to hold a candle to a 7.62 by 39 or 5.56 or any of your intermediate cartridges, much less 308 or something like that. So you're giving up power, you're giving up magazine capacity. You have a sight radius that's only 4 inches long, which means it's a little easier to misalign the sights and miss your shot. You only have 2 points of contact on this weapon system. I mean, that's all you got. Whereas with a rifle, I got a buttstock on my shoulder. It makes things a lot more stable and gives me a better chance to make that hit. On my rifle, I also have a red dot, so I have a better optical setup than these old school iron sights. So the handgun gives up a lot to a rifle if we're talking about combat prowess. The only real thing this thing does better than a long gun is you can conceal it, which doesn't apply to a home defense gun. In a home defense situation, I'm not trying to conceal the gun. If the gun comes out, it's because somebody or something has gone horribly wrong and needs to be addressed. And I don't care to conceal the firearm at that point. So, if we're talking about you want a gun strictly for home defense, first firearm purchase, I say bypass this, get a rifle. It gives you more capacity, better firepower, better stability, and in my personal experience, I shoot rifles a lot better than handguns. It took less training for me to get comfortable with a rifle than a handgun. I'm still learning to shoot handguns what I would consider to be acceptably well. I shoot better than a lot of people, but I know a lot of people that outshoot me all the time. So, home defense gun, I say get a rifle. Ditch this. The only time I can really get on board with the idea of getting a handgun is if A, you already have a rifle, in which case go for it, or B, if like me you conceal carry, because I can't conceal carry a rifle. So this is with me much more of the time than my rifle is, and hence I train with this a lot more than my rifle, because this is the thing I carry day in, day out. The rifle is more a specific tool for a specific use. So make that judgment. If you're in a state that allows you to conceal carry, or if you want to take that responsibility upon yourself, and it is a responsibility to conceal carry, it's not the kind of thing you go pay your fee, take your class, and you just rock and roll it. And if you're in a constitutional carry state, legally you don't have a requirement for training, but you have a moral responsibility to learn how to use the firearm so you don't hurt somebody or hurt yourself. So, if you're going to conceal carry, you need a handgun. If you're not going to conceal carry, you don't need a handgun. You need to get a rifle first. Come back for the handgun later. But we'll keep this nice and short. I just wanted to kind of have a few moments to get my thoughts down about handguns, and keep your ears open, your eyes peeled. I did a blog post that I'll link into the show description here, and there's going to be an audio show coming up in the near future where me and an acquaintance of mine are going to bat around these topics, talk about it for a good long time. But I appreciate y'all's time today. If y'all have any questions, please hit me up in the comment box, subscribe, check out the blog, check me out on Facebook, and get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from y'all, and let me know what's on y'all's minds.